Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk true to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo.
My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me tonight. And thank you so much to every one of you who decided to wait. To you, the early callers. To you, Koye. You are all too many to mention. For Lusheke, I hope I pronounced that right. Alpha 7227. That's a good one. You are asking, what's the PayPal link for supporting this venture and phone number for chatting? Check under this. There's this thing scrolling there. Yeah, you will see the PayPal link. You will also see the contact number. But please make sure when you want to use that number, you using the WhatsApp, not direct number. So thank you. To every one of you who's joined just before we get this kicked off. Osaka John. When you are the highway patrol director, you know the rules about the express. So if I'm in control of the express, you shouldn't be worried. I can lead and you can follow. Thank you so much, every one of you. Oluwole Oshuneye. Tonight, even though we are going to kick off in a moment, I just want to use this moment to appreciate every one of you, because so many people are just discovering Maiyegun through YouTube. Many of you followed Maiyegun from, if you see the likes of Koye, Maiyegun in Ireland, Koye in Dublin, so he will tell you the story. So thank you to every one of you, to the point that you believe so much in Maiyegun, just doing this. And eventually I've been so encouraged to do better and make your experience listening to anything politics, latest development from Nigeria, makes it more interesting and at the same time, educative. So thank you for the support. Back to sender. This is your first time. Try and stay back for just 10 minutes and see if you are going to spend another 10 minutes or you're just going to end the first 10 minutes. So stay back. If this is your first time of watching Maiyegun, you are welcome to the party. So we received the report today of the attempt, the ambush, just call it ambush, laid by the group of Nigerian security men on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway today. They ambushed Sunday Igboho, and they did that just to upset or probably to test the water. They know that, number one, Sunday Igboho has committed no crime. Asking for self-defense is not a crime. And that is why they are finding it difficult to get Yorubas, even the Yoruba elite, to back their support to unleash violence on Yoruba youth, courtesy of Sunday Igboho. So they are so worried that they are only waiting for the body language, the mood, and all of that of the elite in Yoruba land, politicians, religious leaders, royal fathers, community leaders, and so many other people that are working on the ground that they expected to back them and give them the green light to pick up Sunday Igboho, not just Sunday Igboho, but everyone standing up, asking people to defend themselves in Yoruba land. So meeting that roadblock, they keep testing the water. They have told themselves for the past, 4 weeks that Sunday Igboho should be arrested. He must be picked up. The uprising in Yoruba land is because of him. It is simply because of Sunday Igboho that people are now saying no to Fulani bandits, no to Fulani terrorists, because we are not going to sit back and watch them, the invaders, the marauders, the lawless criminals, invade the land and watch them take our own children. That is something that is called patriotic call, and Sunday Igboho is a target. So good enough. They know it. They are picking up on Sunday Igboho will trigger something, but they will keep pushing. They'll keep trying. And that's exactly what happened today on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The report added that Sunday Igboho and so many other young Yorubas, they were on their way to go and meet with one of the Yoruba socio-political leaders, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, in Lagos. So on their way, somehow, it became an ambush where trucks, pickups, cars, guns of different kind of security agents blocked the road. Why did they block the road? What is this all about? It was because they wanted to block the road, narrow the search down, and round everybody up. We don't know why. We don't know what. So what happened next was that the people who were in the entourage of Sunday Igboho, other travelers and everything, everybody came down from their cars and they approached the armed security men. So getting closer to them, they found that they were a team of Operation Bust. Operation Bust is a security team put together by the governor and the government of Oyo State. Listen to this again. On getting closer to know who are those who have blocked the road, wielding guns, they found out that they are the team of Operation Bust. Operation Bust is put together by the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, to combat the increasing crimes in Oyo State. When he became governor of Oyo State, he sourced the team from different agencies, different security agencies in Nigeria, starting with the police, the army, the vigilantes, and so many other security groups and teams that they fused together to combat crime within Oyo State. That is on record. It's a fact. What was Operation Burst team doing on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway? Stopping all vehicles, all traffic, and in combat mood when Sunday Igboho was just about 3-4 cars away from them. So they came down, everyone came down to approach them. And this is what happened. I'm going to continue the probe where we are really going. As a Yoruba man, it is time for you to really understand what is going on. Whether you do or not, this is what happened when Sunday Igboho was ambushed today. Sorry, I haven't laid my hands on the better, capture, but this is the moment when that happened. Why would they ambush Sunday Igboho on his way to Lagos? Few days ago, Sunday Igboho made a statement and he said, the real move to protect Yoruba land is gaining so much momentum, not just among the young people, even among the older generation, the older people. They have come to accept that even if they made wrong political decisions in the past, this issue of insecurity in Nigeria has gotten to a stage whereby if you are lucky, blessed enough to have young people who understand perfectly what is going on, and they are ready, responding spontaneously to the development, you should not cut them down. You should support them. Sunday Igboho and team, they were on their way to Lagos to meet Pa Adebanjo. This is a man known to be pro-Yoruba liberation. They were the teams and they were the part of the people in Afenifere. And they were those who became prominent because they have been highlighting and pushing to the front burner what they believe as Yoruba marginalization in Nigeria, pro-Yorubas. How come that the report we are now getting that it has gotten to a stage where indeed a proper, real, homegrown, indigenous security network is building up in Yoruba land? The normal way, the normal traditional way of protecting our land in times of invasion. This development is being championed by the young people in Yoruba land, that they are found unbuyable, unbreakable enough to change them from what they believe will truncate their whatever agenda they have in Yoruba land. Young people. Maybe the intention was to kill him. Yeah, make it rowdy, make it look an accident. Yorubas have been networking enough that this issue of insecurity is not just within those who are educated, exposed, or who have access to social media. The information about insecurity in Yoruba land is spreading, and the people behind it, the identity of the criminals, they are always being disclosed. But politically, it seems that whatever deal these criminals, whatever deal they had with Yoruba political, leaders, whatever, it seems that the deal is not in any way valid anymore, and they can feel it. Why would they want to kill Sunday Igboho is the question. I don't know if you have asked yourself why. Why? The plan initially given to, the plan was that Sunday Igboho would be picked up, disgraced, beaten up, paraded like a common criminal. And then they will send that as a signal to every one of us who wants to be like Sunday Igboho in protecting our lives and our properties. What is wrong with Nigeria? What is wrong with those who are Yoruba born, Yoruba sons and daughters, who keep finding excuses, giving excuses for why Nigeria is still an option? What is wrong? Nigeria can protect Yorubas within Yoruba land. As we speak right now, we now have refugees from Ogun State, within Ogun State, and outside Ogun State, outside Nigeria, in Benin Republic. And they are covering the news. They are covering that up. Why would anyone give the order for an ambush on Sunday Igboho, or anybody standing up to defend Yoruba land? Look at what is going on in northern Nigeria now. Look at what is going on in Zamfara. Is that what they are wishing us? Is that something that they are wishing on Yoruba land or Yoruba people? That our people will turn to refugees, beggars, homeless people in Yoruba land. Do we already have them? Maiyegun said Sunday Igboho will be arrested within days. Somehow that didn't happen. They blame him, and they even warned Yoruba leaders. Remember when they were warning the governors? They warned the governor. They said the governors should do everything and stop these guys, or else they will punish any state or any state governor that refused to stop people from protecting their land. I don't understand. I don't. Like, let's put politics here. Let's put this tribal, whatever here. Let's put every other thing that we can use to, that could probably, becloud our reasoning. Let's make it open. People said, listen, we will no longer accept us being kidnapped, being made victims, powerless people in our own land. When we say land, do you even understand the cultural connection, the traditional connection, something that actually connects you to that land? When you say my land, your heritage. And then somebody comes in to say, well, I am a pastorist. I am a herdsman. All I have is my cows, and I need to feed them. Fine, go and feed your cows with the grass. That should be so easy. But when you now fed my yam to your cows, you are already trespassing and what? Abridging my own right to yours. The right to do whatever you like. Who gave you that right? How do you explain that right genuinely? Without using politics, religion, or anything. Like a Fulani man has cows. Fine. That is his own business. I have a farm. That is my own business. My own office. Open a ranch because you are interested in cow. Fine. If you're not going to open a ranch, don't come or trespass on my land. Then you want to give me conditions. Come on. The plan, I told you last year, the plan was to ensure that first, they will spread fear. That's all they do. That's what Gumi said. Thank you very much, Adetoun Agba. Thanks very much for that super sticker there. They first told us that we should give land, and we were like, why should we give you land? We didn't give lands to spare parts traders, Igbo spare part traders in Sokoto, Igbo spare part traders in Kano. We did not give them just land in Igbo spare part traders in Lagos or in any part of Yoruba land or anywhere. They are businessmen and women. They know what it requires for them venturing into that business. They didn't go into the forest kidnapping people because they wanted the Kano State people and government to give them land so that they can start their spare parts trade and business. They didn't do that. A Yoruba man who is also dealing in any trade in any part of Nigeria is not in the forest kidnapping the people, demanding that he should be given land or whatever he wants, like, because he's a Nigerian, he can do whatever. It doesn't make any sense for you to sit down and say a Fulani man has no other means of survival other than for him to take his cows wherever he can take them. What about the people he's going to be trespassing on their farms? What about the victims who fell victims of their butchering and their killings for trying to stop them? What about them? Do you not have a human feeling to that point of thinking about them? If cows are stolen or a herdsman is attacked, it is the job of the police generally to find the killer or to find the attacker and find the thief. You don't sit back and come back and tell us that a Fulani herdsman needs AK-47 simply because he needs to protect himself against those who wants to attack him. What is then the job of the police? So that's what they told us, that we need to give them land. Our refusal to give them land is a problem that we have to deal with. What kind of condition is that? We have people who are into farming in Yoruba land. They are breeding their own cows, breeding their own pork, breeding every kind of a livestock that you can think of in Yoruba land. Why did we have to take a condition for peace, for us to live in peace? Why do we have to take that condition from people that are into private businesses? And I asked myself, I said, listen, even the elite, the northern governors who are pushing this narrative, who want to sacrifice people who want to kill Sunday Igboho, people who are already killing our own people in Yoruba land, they are already doing it. Arresting, ambushing, or attacking or killing Sunday Igboho. It's not because of just killing Sunday Igboho. It is the audacity of even attempting it, knowing the consequences of that. Because after attacking and killing Sunday Igboho, they are going to go after everybody else. The audacity to think it is what we should be looking into. Yes, we should. You are into cow rearing. Why is it so difficult for their elites, their governors, their senators, who have been looking away from the beginning of these atrocities in Nigeria? They have been looking away. They have been pretending or either defending. They have been covering up, and they boldly came out to say it is the right of the terrorists to carry AK-47 assault rifles. Why is it so difficult for them to pull all their resources together, pull all of the billions they have together, and start leasing or renting land from all across northern Nigeria? Don't even give land. What is all this madness of giving land? Why should you give land to people who are interested in growing crops or rearing cows? They want to open ranch that is going to make them multi-billionaires. Yes, you can subsidize them. Is there nobody sensible at all in Nigerian government? Is there no one that is actually sensible enough in the entire northern Nigeria that can come up with a single solution. The billions they are spending in buying weapons, in buying ammunition, in sabotaging the security system, in using the judiciary to sabotage the system, in emboldening these criminals. Why did they just put that billions together? I mean, a real billion, and go into northern Nigeria, and buy lands. There are governors who are ready to give lands for free as well, but make it legal. Make it something like a livestock. They have a program they call livestock blah 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 program to help and promote livestock, businessmen, entrepreneurs. Why can't they come together in a meeting and say, let us raise 100 billion naira? With 100 billion naira, we can build hundreds, if not thousands of ranches. It will be profitable. We won't need to buy guns. We won't need to be paying refugees. We won't need to be fighting insecurity. We will not need, this will not lead to all this foreign direct investment into Nigeria that has dwindled so bad. Let me tell you something. It is a common sense thing that normally, if you put aside all sentiments, you can think about it. What is wrong in doing that? But here is the problem, okay? In 2014, they never believed that they were going to defeat Goodluck Jonathan or intimidate him to run away from government. They didn't believe it. They didn't see it coming. So from 2011, they went all across Africa, encouraging armed criminals to come to Nigeria because there is about to be a jihad in Nigeria. The infidels, they have concluded plan to enslave all Muslims in Nigeria. This may sound like a conspiracy theory to you, but it kind of makes sense if you listen a bit more. Yes, they brought all these guys, no plan. They were preparing for war if Goodluck Jonathan failed to hand over power in 2015. It was meant to be war. In their effort to ensure that Americans and so many other international organizations are very much like distracted from their intention, they set up a committee comprising the former governor of Borno State, so many APC leaders today, including Tifnumbu, Akonde, El-Rufaya, and so many of these guys. You know, you have the photo, you have the picture, you have the video. And if you are doubting me, I'll bring you the video. Trust me, I will bring you the video. Before 2015 election, they traveled down to America. They went there, right? And before then, that was when the process of mass kidnapping started. They started kidnapping school children in a way that was never seen before. Chibok happened. They leveraged on that. They are armed terrorists. They are armed jihadists. They were already arriving in Nigeria, occupying different forests in northern Nigeria. You know, Boko Haram was there anyway. However, more were arriving. More were arriving. Instead of the intel of America to expose these criminals who now took over power in 2015, it didn't. The Chibok girls was a big distraction. Even Obama, Barack Obama, the president of America at the time, Michelle Obama, they had to all raise this hashtag, bring back our girls, bring back our girls. Meanwhile, those who were keeping the girls were the same people demanding for the release of the girls. It didn't open up to, it wasn't so clear to everybody. It was new. How could this even happen? This is unbelievable. How could they move over 200 school children? No police, no soldier, no Air Force, no Intel, no DSS, no nothing. And for a whole week, even the governor of Borno State, Shetima, when they said they called him, is it true that girls were kidnapped in Chibok? They came out, and I remember this very well. He came out and he said, no, we have we have rescued them. 48 hours later, the news was, oh, we have rescued them. Meanwhile, all of that was that they were putting all the girls, separating them, putting them where they needed to put them. From the testimonies of some of the girls who finally got released, they said they were kept in the house in Borono. They said they were kept in a house in Maiduguri for weeks before they were moved again to another location because Nigerian army bombed the place. All these are facts that came out after Chibok attack. But what happened? When those they brought in to destroy Nigeria, if Goodluck Jonathan failed to leave power, when they became useless, because eventually Goodluck Jonathan handed over power, right? So they became useless. There is no use for them anymore. How are they going to survive? These were the soldiers that we started calling Fulani herdsmen. Because from nowhere, it was Boko Haram. In fact, it was because of Boko Haram that Barack Obama made a video and he said the task to save Nigeria or something like that. I mean, sorry, to save Nigeria is a task that must be done. If some of you remember that video, if you don't, it's just like the way my head works, this clockwise and all of that. I keep picking all this information and making them up so that you can understand where I'm going. How did we get here? I'll find the video and I'll share that with you. Barack Obama said the task, to save Nigeria is a task that must be done. Vote wisely in 2015. And indeed, people voted for change. It wasn't just that. Axelrod, you remember Axelrod, the former campaign, campaign team director for Barack Obama. Change. You remember that change. Yes, we can. Of Barack Obama. Axelrod became a strategist for APC. So when Chibok girls were kidnapped, Shetima, the governor of Borno State, Bola Tinubu, even Oshiomhole, and so many of these guys traveled to America. They told the Americans that please, don't sell weapons to Nigeria. If you sell weapons to Goodluck Jonathan, his soldiers are going to use the weapon to kill opposition. They have been killing opposition. Please don't sell weapons. He wants to rig the election. They pleaded, and America placed armed embargo on Nigeria because of that plea. That alone gave all these criminals they have put in the forest, it gave them time to understand the terrain, to understand everywhere, the places they are going to attack, the villages and the properties they are going to burn down, the people they are going to kill in some certain area. It was going to be a big program that Nigeria was going to lead to civil war. Then military will take over, and suddenly, surprisingly, the military will then appoint Buhari as the president. It was all like that, right? Even when Goodluck Jonathan couldn't buy weapons from America, or anybody who is associated with America, or collecting donation from America, any country associated with America couldn't sell weapons to Nigeria. They had to go and call Pastor Orishe Jafo. You remember that story? Pastor Orishe Jafo had to volunteer his own plane, his own private jet. They had to take money from CBN, put the money inside private jet, and flew to South Africa. They want to go and buy weapons for Nigerian army in the South African black market. This is a true life story. It was the effort of the Buhari, APC, Tifnumbu, and all of them at a point. Laya Muhammad came out and he said, an attack on Boko Haram is an attack on the northern Nigeria. So many people are using that quote today for Buhari. It wasn't Buhari that said that. It was a Yoruba man like myself, like yourself, as you are watching me today. It was Laya Muhammad. He said, attack on Boko Haram is illegal, it's against the constitution. Just same other balderdash and nonsense, other gibberish that, vomited during that time. Some of them that they have swallowed or rebranded today. Some of these nonsense they spitted. It was Laya Muhammad that said attack on Boko Haram was unconstitutional. Then surprisingly, when they finally got the power, Boko Haram lay low. And surprisingly, Fulani from Futajalon, from here, from there, started killing Nigerians. What's going on? Benue, they ransacked Benue. They entered Plateau State. They entered everywhere. They entered every community. Adamawa everywhere. Suddenly, Boko Haram that was bombing and bombing, they were not bombing anymore. But something stuck. What was that? Mass kidnapping of children continued. It wasn't meant to be. People voted because of Boko Haram onslaught in Nigeria. They believe that they voted and supported a general that understands what he is doing, that will come and save them. Do you understand? It was because of Boko Haram. Even those who didn't vote for Boko Haram, those who didn't support APC, somehow, they had their own reservations too. And I'll tell you, there are many people who didn't support them. But somehow, they were looking for a time where truly somebody will keep everybody safe. Now, 6 years after that, the same people who promised to save you, keep you safe, they are now telling you that bandits are not criminals. All of a sudden, we are no longer talking about Boko Haram as much as we are now talking about bandits. We are now talking about Fulani terrorists and all of this. So people are asking, where did these guys come from? How did he get here? Some of us were even screaming and shouting, this whole thing is going to get down south. A man called, is he a professor? Obadia, former director in CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, came out and he said, from the information they have, after they finish with the northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt, they are coming southern Nigeria. APC brought terrorists to Nigeria to cause war if they lost the election. Now, they didn't lose the election. Now they can't take care of the soldiers, the terrorists they brought into the country. They are now asking the citizens to understand them and give them time, because they would rather give amnesty to them because there's nowhere they will go. But the same people have no idea, any ideology, any plan to at least push the agenda of ranching instead of all these funny names and all of that. They have no idea. Then something is missing. Something is wrong. From whatever angle you are looking at it from, something is not right. Why would they want to kill Sunday Igboho? Why?
Mr. President has no respect for the National Assembly. We must hate, and that's the painful part. Our resolutions don't mean anything. Our bills that are passed are not assented to. The more you say it, the more annoying it is to the president. He will never change them. Therefore, Mr. President, please, I want us to have a cursory look at Section 143. Section 143 is not about removal of Mr. President. There are certain actions that the National Assembly can take. I am not saying the president must be removed. No, it will be premature. But let us take a resolution signed by 1/3 of us, of members of the National Assembly, and sent to him. That again, we are not prodding him, we are compelling him. That, Mr. President, we want to inundate you with the insecurity in this country. In my position, I'm not asking for his impeachment. I'm asking that he be compelled.
Is Mr. President waiting for us to bring a formal motion to the floor of this House to say we've passed a vote of no confidence? Is that what they are waiting for? We should sit down within ourselves and say it as it is and take appropriate actions. Mr. President, if you have any problem with that, allow the Senate to do it. We understand your position. You're in a difficult position. But let me tell you, Mr. President, God will ask you. Wallahi. This is not the end. The Constitution is clear. It did not limit what we can do. We must call the attention of our president. We voted for him. Nigerians voted for him to the fact that we are consistently, as a government, failing in our responsibility under Section 42B. There should be a specific resolution in that one. It's a constitution. All of us here, just like our colleague earlier today, swore to uphold the Constitution.
The presidency is not an award. It's a call to duty. And when you call a man to duty, he must be dutiful enough to know when the buck stops on his table. And right now, Mr. President, the buck, as far as security is concerned, stops squarely on the table of Mr. President. This government.
It's a failed government. Yes, they are doing a lot of talking. That's all we'll continue to do. While those who are taking action and working on the ground will continue to work in the interest of Yoruba people. And as you have our brothers and our compatriots as well from Biafra land, they will continue to push that. Politicians will not define how we are going to defend ourselves. Whatever deal they get themselves into, they won't define that. Please, we should do everything to protect Sunday Igboho. I will continue to ask us to. Sunday Igboho has the support of many of us in the diaspora, because it is not because of him only. It is because of the kind of inspiration we need. Yes, the inspiration we need in Yoruba land, the motivation we need in Yoruba land. Not the kind of all talk, no actions of the politicians, giving us conditions for why we can stay alive or not. We need people like him, and that's why we support him. We'll do everything to keep supporting him. And we'll keep doing everything to support everyone as well. Igboho cannot be arrested. Arresting Sunday Igboho is a call. It's a call for war. Let's be honest. People will react. It is not in the interest of Yoruba for any political class or traditional ruler or anyone in Yoruba land, wherever you belong to, wherever you belong to. It is not in the interest of Yoruba to sacrifice Sunday Igboho. These guys, you have listened to Gumi, you have seen videos of these guys who are demanding that they should be paid, they should be given money, holding the country to ransom, holding our people to ransom. People won't just subject their sovereignty to terrorists simply because politicians promised them something that they couldn't give to them. We won't pay for that. We have already paid or paying for the error of putting criminals in government. We are not going to pay agreements made with other criminals by the politicians. So every Yoruba son and daughter, rich, not so rich, everyone should be interested in defending Sunday Igboho. Take whatever do whatever it takes and protect him. Thank you so much on that, because there's a video I want to share with you, but there's also something we were reading yesterday. Yes, some of you said I should complete the story yesterday, and I said we will do it some other time. It is the story of the making of Abacha and the heroes that they are making you to celebrate. Criminals, they are calling heroes. However you feel about it, yes, they have done a lot of manipulations and brainwashing for so many years. But some of us are still reading, digging, and connecting the whole thing together, dotting the line, crossing the T's, giving ourselves the facts rather than the fictions that we're told. Because the criminals who turned themselves to heroes, who wrote the story, the history of a fake Nigeria, the people who wrote the history, they are still alive. You would never expect them to tell you the true story. Those who are dead among them, we also have their story, including those who are alive. And that's why we're going to continue the story today. Thank you so much, by the way. If you haven't given me that thumbs up on my video, I want to ask you to please do it now. We can't have over 2,400 to 500 people watching, and we don't have 2,000 likes. You can stop for a sec before I continue the reading. Just give me that thumb up on the video. Come out of the chat, go under this video, okay? You will see the thumb up. Click it. That is you engaging this conversation. And if you want to join my membership as well, Yes, I've got members of Maiyegun's Diary Politico. You will see the join button under this video as well. You can join as a gold, silver, platinum, premium, or diamond member. I've got amazing people that love me that much. And I know you would like to find out what is that all about. You will see the join button. Then also click on that subscribe. When you click on subscribe under this video, you will also see notification. That notification, click on all notification, tap it while we are doing this. I'll give you a minute break, and then we will start, and we will continue the story. Please. You see, so easy to do, so easy and so fast. Thank you so much if you have done it. If you haven't, please do. David, my brother, thank you so much for your super sticker as well. Everyone asking about the super sticker, it is voluntary, just like everything you do on Maiyegun's Diary, okay? Beside your comments, you will see that dollar sign. It's not available in every location, so don't worry yourself if you can't do it. It's not really a big thing. Yeah, if you're asking for it, that dollar sign beside your comment box, that is what is called the super chat and super sticker. So let's start, or let me continue the story from where we stopped yesterday before we round it up tonight. It is called Nigeria's Whitewashed Heads of State, the Kano Emperors, Part 3. We were talking about Abacha and the activities leading to the emergence of Abacha and the demise of Abacha as well. It is written by Akinyemi Muhammad Adedeji, and you can get this on Medium, the princely X dot. If you look at the screen, I think you should be able to even see that. I don't know. Yeah. So you will get. I'll share the link with you for everyone asking. Okay. Let me drop the link before I continue. So if you want to read this later, you can read more from here. So thank you very much. Let's continue from where we stopped last night. The phantom coup. The coup trial. Remember, they have already framed Obasanjo. Abacha said he suspected that some people attempted to overthrow him. Therefore, he was investigating that coup. And Yaradua, who happened to be Obasanjo's pal and mate, and also a coup plotter like Abacha, he was arrested and the trial started. The coup trial of 1995 was a farce, with over 300 military personnel and civilians arrested and tortured to admit to committing a non-existent coup. The coup was tagged a phantom coup, and the journalists who reported that it was a ruse were equally arrested. Chris Anyanwu, a popular Nigerian journalist working with the Sunday magazine, was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment, which was commuted to 15 years for reporting on a failed coup d'etat. Anyawu's was a spectacular case because before she published the existence of a supposedly failed coup, the Director of Defense Information denied the existence of such, only for Abdusalam Abubakar, Chief of Defense Staff, to announce 3 days later that there had been a coup. The Special Investigation Panel claimed to have found evidence for 3 different but overlapping coup plots. One allegedly headed by Colonels Guadabe and Bello Fadile. A second led by Major Akinyemi, and a third led by Yaradua. It recommended a trial. During the coup trial, Obasanjo objected to being tried by a junior officer as a retired 4-star general, with the only officer with enough rank to try him being Abacha. His objection was overruled. These are the alleged plots. Plot 1, Yaradua. Yaradua was Yaradua was charged with conspiracy to commit treason, concealment of treason, illegal possession of firearms, and stealing. The prosecution alleged that Yaradua instigated another plot by inciting Babangida's former ADC, Lieutenant Colonel Sambo Dasuki, who had been a key member of the Babangida government and who was also son of the Sultan of Sokoto, Ibrahim Dasuki. Dasuki was out of Nigeria, and unlike Obasanjo, he did not return to face trial. He was declared a political fugitive. Plot 2, Guadabe and Bello Fadile. Although away from Nigeria, Dasuki was accused of involving another military man, Bello Fadile, to recruit other soldiers for a coup. After being interrogated by the SIP, Bello Fadile said he was instructed by Dasuki to meet Yaradua, who financially sponsored the said coup. According to the prosecution, Dasuki also asked Bello Fadile to recruit Guadabe. Bello and Fadile met in Bone Camp, Lagos in 1994. What was discussed at the meeting, according to the prosecution, was a plot to attack the presidential villa using former presidential bodyguards guarded by a map gotten from some Americans. Guadabe allegedly contributed money to the plot. The prosecution also said that the plotters were going to assassinate Abacha using a sniper on March 1, 1995 at the Eid praying ground. After displacing Abacha, they planned to use retired senior army officers to gain credibilities for their new regime, then discard them as soon as their regime stabilized. Both Yaradua and Obasanjo were senior retired military officers. Plot 3, Major Akinyemi. The prosecution accused Major Akinyemi of starting a security company which trained paramilitary officers who will be used to take over the government. This plan involved guerrilla war, which will take place in Lagos, Ibadan, Enugu, Benin, Jos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Akinyemi is from the southwest and had been implicated in a coup 5 years earlier, but emerged unscathed. All the defendants pleaded not guilty. Some of the defendants, including Bello Fadile, who originally gave evidence against their co-alleged conspirators, retracted their statements. Yaradua admitted to having met Bello twice, but only at the lobby of Hilton Hotel, where they had brief conversations that he couldn't even remember the full details of. On one of such meetings, Yaradua was also accused of meeting 150 supporters of the coup in Lagos at the end of February 1995. But he said the alleged period was during Ramadan, and he was with his family in the north. Bello Fadile was also tortured to admit to meeting Obasanjo on his farm. At times, Obasanjo was earlier not in the country or was not hosting guests at the office on the farm. Farida Waziri. You remember Farida Waziri? She later became EFCC chairman. You remember her? Well, here it is. Farida Waziri worked in the legal team of the SIP. She revealed recently that the chief accuser, Bello Fadile, who claimed he attended the coup meeting in Yaradua's Ikoyi home, couldn't identify the house when driven around the neighborhood. Neither could he identify critical places where clandestine meetings allegedly occurred with the general in attendance. His claim that about 50 guests attended the dinner in Yaradua's sitting room was proven false. Caught in a web of lies, He later confessed that an SSS operative gave him a written report with the instruction to copy the information about Yaradua's involvement in the coup. When taken into the general's home, he found a living room that could barely accommodate 20, not 50 visitors. He had lamely changed his statement to, "I was standing by the window." On Obasanjo, Farida Waziri said, first, General Obasanjo was a superior military officer to all those at the helm of the current government. Second, most of the officers with whom he allegedly conspired were not even commissioned into the Nigerian army when he was a ranking officer. There was no way Obasanjo would have connived with junior officers who had no reason to be loyal to him, especially against Abacha. When the prosecution couldn't find enough evidence to nail Obasanjo for treason, he was charged for concealment of treason. What is ironic is that Obasanjo invented concealment of treason as a crime in 1976 as a way to punish people who knew about Muritala's coup but were physically unable to participate. On July 14, 1995, the tribunal reached a verdict. It announced that 51 people had been charged, with 8 defendants acquitted. 3 accused were not available: Dasuki, Anthony Onyem, and Great Ogboru. All the remaining 40 were convicted for various crimes, although Brigadier General Chijuka, who read the judgment, did not reveal the names of the 40 or their sentences. There were rumors of death sentences for Obasanjo and Yaradua. Habitually, Abacha said nothing and let the rumors descend into an ethnic affair. In 1976 and 1986, 2 foiled coups were carried out by soldiers from Nigeria's Middle Belt who were sentenced without clemency. With the accused in this case being northern and southern soldiers, Middle Belters wanted the same no mercy treatment. As part of propaganda to gather public support, an edited 50-minute documentary program was aired by the government. The heavily edited program featured excerpts from the trial, including clips of Bello reading his testimony. One of the clips showed him thanking the tribunal for its patience and the special concessions given to him, and commending it for reinforcing his belief in the rule of law. It also showed other suspects and defendants mechanically reading statements that incriminated Yaradua and Obasanjo, as well as still photos with no audio of Obasanjo's response to the allegations. On October 1, 1995, Abacha made a nationwide address where he said none of the convicted will be killed and will instead face prison terms varying from 15 to 25 years. Journalists who were arrested as an accessory to the fact were sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. The role of these journalists will be discussed subsequently. The next coup, Dia's coup. Oladipo Dia was made Abacha's second in command after the takeover from Shonekan. His loyalty to Abacha tainted his dignity as 2 of his former colleagues, Lieutenant General Gusau and Major General Ishola Williams, gave him ominous messages. Gusau told a mutual friend, "Tell your brother Dia that he will leave the army in disgrace," while Williams said it wasn't going to last long. Dia, being from Ogun State in Nigeria's southwest, was the foremost southerner in Abacha's cabinet and was eventually engulfed in a war of loyalty to his Yoruba ethnic group and Abacha, a northerner. 6 months into Abacha's ascension, there had been no pronouncement regarding the June 12 elections. So Bola Tinubu, MKO's closest ally, went to meet Dia, whom they were from the same region, and gave him an ultimatum to take action. Tinubu said, unquote, "If you are not in this government to actualize June 12, you have betrayed us." When Abacha called for a constitutional conference in April 1994, Yoruba leaders met with Southwestern military top officials. At the meeting, the Alake of Egbaland, Oba Oyebade Lipede, scolded Dia. In quote, "You are our son. We see how your fellow northerners worship their emirs. Have you no respect for us at all?" This was in response to Dia's perceived support for Abacha against Abiola's June 12 election. Dia convinced some of the kings that the constitutional conference will address the June 12 election. Things began to take a dangerous twist after Abiola's arrest on June 23rd, 1994. To get Abiola out of detention and fly him out of Nigeria, Justice Abdullahi Mustafa was flown from Benin to Abuja to hear the bail appeal for Abiola. At the end of the day, Abiola was granted conditional bail with instructions not to travel abroad, even though the judge did not seize his passport. This arrangement was made by the Nigerian Labour Congress, sponsored partly by Lamidi Adedibu, a prominent Southwest politician, and was covered by Dia, Abacha's deputy. Dia should have been suspicious that this would backfire when the IGP, Ibrahim Kumasi, who was supposed to release Abiola, went missing. The police commissioner for FCT refused to release Abiola without orders from Kumasi. Abiola also made the release difficult as he insisted on not leaving. He should have taken the offer, or perhaps Dia shouldn't have taken the risk on behalf of the stubborn Abiola. Abacha doubted Dia's loyalty to him. Things would come to light when Abacha discovered the attempt to release Abiola and converted Abiola's detention to be under the Decree 2, which allowed the military government to arrest anyone without trial. The person in charge of signing the warrant was Dia, and he refused to do so. The decree was amended to allow the IGP sign detention under Decree 2. Kumasi signed. Abacha became agitated and started taking extra security precautions. He retired his Chief of Army Staff, Chris Ali. Although he is Ebira from Kogi State, he grew up in Onitsha and speaks fluent Igbo. And Chief of Naval Staff, Alison Madueke, eliminating all non-northerners from the Provisional Ruling Council, except Dia. It was a bigger fish to fry. I'm going to take a drink break, and when I get back, I will continue. Stay tuned, and when I get back, we will continue. Don't go anywhere. Just a minute.
It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic.
Chai! Now, wow. People wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. This one, not the off.
Thank you so much for your patience, okay? Let us continue. By 1997, Abacha had deleted all top military officers that came into power with him, except Dia. Even though he was still in government, Dia said after the Abiola saga, he lost out and we became less and less consulted on government issues. Dia belonged to a government that he was no longer a part of. Abacha, more than ever, became security conscious, creating different divisions to protect him and wipe out his perceived opponents. Abacha barely left the presidential palace, and despite this, he never delegated the duty to Dia. Abacha's foreign affairs minister, Tom Ikimi, represented him outside Nigeria, while Miriam and General Abubakar represented him in Nigeria. In August 1997, senior officers including Dia, Bamayi, Major General Patrick Aziza, and the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Air Vice Marshal Idi Musa, began discussing a list of 4 demands that anonymous junior military officers had allegedly drafted and sent to their seniors for onward transmission to Abacha. The demand in the letter wanted Abacha to cede his plans for succession, to hand over in October 1998, to release the draft of the 1995 Constitution, and that political prisoners should be released. Even though Dia was no longer comfortable with Abacha's government, he did not initiate the coup. Ishaya Bamayi did. Bamayi also informed Dia that all GOCs were supporting the plot, except Major General Mukhtar of 1st Mechanized Infantry Division in Kaduna, who was not in the country. The plotters started meeting in Dia's office in Abuja, and Dia noted during one of the meetings that Bamayi's chest was bulging out. A trust in Dia also involved Major Generals Abdul Karim Adisa and Tajuddin Olanrewaju, both being Yoruba Muslims. They were both loyal to Abacha and were hesitant to join the coup, but were told that Adisa's friend, the Director of Military Intelligence, Brigadier General Ibrahim Sabo, was in support. They would all find out later that what was bulging out of Bamayi's chest was a recording device. On December 13, 2 weeks before his arrest, Dia had allegedly narrowly missed becoming the victim of a bomb explosion at Abuja Airport when he was on his way to represent Abacha at the funeral of the mother of Major General Lawrence Onoja in Benue State. When this attempt failed, the coup was the fallback plan. The plotters planned to meet Abacha and present him with the 4 demands. According to Dia, in quote, I suggested to Bamayi that he and the GOCs should confront Abacha with the demands of the junior officers and ask him to address them or stand the risk of being removed. Bamayi and GOCs agreed it was not a bad idea at all. Even though the details were sketchy, a letter had been drafted either at Dia or Olarewaju's house and was to be read by either Magashi, who was from Kano, or Bamayi. Dia told the group that when the old man goes, you boys should not forget to maintain the hierarchy. Dia is Abacha's second in command. Maintaining the hierarchy meant it should be considered as Abacha's replacement. On the 9th of December 20, Al-Mustafa, head of Abacha's strike force, a special op team protecting Abacha, called Dia's intercom system. That was not the call Dia was expecting. Al-Mustafa ought to have been suppressed. An SSS agent with Dia, Isaiah Adebowale, advised that Dia should leave his house, and they drove Isaiah's car to his house. Al-Mustafa soon went to Dia's house and met his absence. Dia's guards had also been gradually reduced and replaced by special guards described as members of a carefully selected private army of 3,000 men trained in Libya and North Korea. The special bodyguard is reputed for its quiet efficiency and brutality. They are personally loyal to the president and take orders from the presidential security chief, Major Hamza Al-Mustafa. The guards told Al-Mustafa whom he left with, and they soon entered the premises of Isaiah, shooting their way in before arresting Dia, who was hiding under a mattress. All the other plotters were arrested and taken to the presidential villa. When Al-Mustafa met Dia, he tried the good cop routine and told Dia, unquote, if you want me to help you, I can help you talk to Oga, but I need all the facts, unquote. Dia protested, in quote, you know you don't allow me to see Oga. Dia's captors removed his handcuffs and leg chains and granted him an audience with Abacha, thinking that he could save himself with crocodile loyalty. Dia went on his knees and started begging for forgiveness. When he met Abacha, this psychological warfare was not being played on Dia alone, as Adisa also begged Al-Mustafa, a junior officer, to help him intercede with Abacha. The video surfaced later. I have the video. I can share that with you some other time too. On January 3rd, 1998, another SIP was set up to investigate the coup. The SIP was headed by Major General Chris Garuba, an Idoma officer from Nigeria's Middle Belt region. The SIP worked from Jos and arrested about 60 suspects. The suspects were placed in small cells, which they shared with around 4 or 5 other inmates. They were chained to the ground in their cells and had to sleep on a bare, hard concrete floor for the first few weeks of their incarceration. Detention conditions were so severe that they looked forward to their interrogation session with the SIP, as it allowed them to leave their cells, walk, and get fresh air, even though they were subjected to hostile questioning and accusation. Abacha invited over 1,000 traditional leaders to a special event in Abuja before the coup plotters were taken to court. Abacha showed them carefully edited videos of the accused confessing to their crimes while groveling before Abacha. Hamza and other soldiers pleading for leniency. Abacha was buying public opinion, and Oba Rufus Adejugbe Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, Southwest, said, unquote, in quote now, says, from what we have heard from the audio records and images of the preliminary investigations, we wish to condemn the dastardly act conceived and attempted by the plotters already arrested. Oba Oyekon of Lagos added that the dastardly act by the unpatriotic, devil-inspired, and mischievous elements is condemned in all its ramifications by the peace-loving people of Lagos State. 30 plotters faced trial on February 14, 1998, with Major General Victor Malu from Benue State leading the tribunal. The defendants entered the courtroom in handcuffs and with their legs chained, wearing ill-fitting clothes and tattered footwear and slippers. The defendants were given a list of lawyers to represent them, but only from the military. Adisa and Olanrewaju expressed reservations about whether military lawyers could zealously defend them without being themselves intimidated. A defense lawyer who had defended his client with too much enthusiasm during the 1995 coup trial was himself arrested and placed on trial. Malu told them, "Well, you should have said this before now. You are in the system and you have never objected to this aspect of military law." They were not allowed to bring in civilian lawyers to defend them. On the first day of the proceeding, journalists were allowed into the premises, and everyone was shocked when Dia confessed that this is a clear case of setup. I am the target, and it was organized right from the top. I am surprised that the Chief of Army Staff, who is the mastermind, chief planner, and executioner of this incident, is not here. Public opinion was soon stoked against Abacha, as it was becoming obvious that he was trying to remove all Southwesterners from the PRC. Dia lamented in an interview later on that after the first day of the interview, Sergeant Rogers and Mustafa's henchman entered his cell at night and beat me until blood started coming out from my head. If Dia had truly planned a coup, there was no way he could have executed it, as neither he nor any of the other Southerners implicated in the coup were controlling any troops. They were not controlling any troops they would have taken over the government with. Babangida also mentioned that if I were in office and someone told me Dia was staging a coup, I would go to sleep. I would even go into a deeper slumber if I knew Dia was working with Olanrewaju and Adisa. This is interesting. You know that some of our Biafran brothers, every little thing, they will say, if I hear that any Yoruba man is planning a war, I will go to bed and sleep. It was actually a misquote. Something said by Babangida when he was reading the report of Dia coup. It was Dia that Babangida was referring to. And the reason why he said that was Dia control no troop, Adisa control no troop, Olanrewaju control no troop, but they were accused of plotting to overthrow Abacha that control all the troops. So I hope this is educative enough for you. Some of you, whenever you are looking for something you just want to drag Yoruba with, you will say, hey, Babangida said, if a Yoruba man is planning a coup. No, it wasn't a Yoruba man. It was talking about Abacha. I hope that educates some of our minds, by the way. It will be strange if, while planning a coup against Abacha, Dia decided to confide his plans to the Director of Military Intelligence, whose job is to stop coup plots, and to another officer, Aziza, who was known to be loyal to Abacha, and whom only 2 years earlier had shared a trial that convicted over 40 people, including a former head of state, for plotting a coup. It was shocking to Dia and everybody else at the tribunal when Malu invited a special witness to testify against Dia, and the witness was Bamayi. Bamayi said during one of Dia's visits to the Lagos Garrison Command in September 1997, Dia began a conversation in the car with Aziza as he was leaving. Dia then appealed to Aziza to convince Bamayi to be a part of the coup. He added that Dia, sorry, something was ringing in my head as I was remembering that quote. You get what I mean now? So that quote of if a Yoruba man is planning any coup or war, quoted, attached to Babangida, is a false quote. Look at it now. Now that Yorubas are saying we are going to go to war, we are going to defend Yoruba land, can you see them running helter-skelter? Can you now see them that indeed, if Yoruba says we are going to war, nobody will go to sleep. No one will go to sleep. Take that from me. Do you get that now? I hope we are all getting education now. Go on now on this under this video. We are so many. Come on. Give that thumb up now. Click subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to Maiyegun's Diary, click it now. It doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe. Then go to the notification. Click on all notification and you will never miss anything. Let us continue. I think we are just going on and on and on, right? It is interesting, isn't it? Mommy girls. This is why they don't teach history. What is wrong in educating minds? Educating minds means that if you learn from history, you will never be imprisoned by history. You will not repeat it. And that's why we are doing this. Remember, subscribe on Maiyegun's Diary. That's the only way you'll miss any of these blockbuster moments. And it's so interesting when you listen to Maiyegun live than when you watch Maiyegun later. You know what I'm talking about? Do it now and you won't miss. Let us continue again. He added that Dia contributed $60,000 to fund the coup. In his testimony, Bamayi said he went to report the issue to Abacha, who told them to play along with Dia. He also mentioned that Olanrewaju promised the group that he would recruit artillery officers. They had 4 different plans to take out Abacha, all of which failed because Abacha was absent at the planned venues. Not until the night of December 20, when they decided to storm the presidential villa. To support this, videos were played showing the different meetings the plotters had with Bamayi and co. A betrayed Dia told Bamayi, you wear 3 faces, one for Abacha, one for me, and one for you. Despite this, Dia insisted on not initiating the plot and that he was co-opted into it. In the footage of Dia and Abacha's conversation, Dia said he was afraid that if he refused to join the coup, to join the plotter, they were going to mark him for execution. Some military intelligence officers like Frank Omeka and Sabo believed that there was a coup within a coup. According to their analysts, Dia agreed to participate after assurances from Bamayi that most GOCs and senior army commanders supported the plot. Then when Bamayi realized that his plot would leak or fail, he decided to save himself by sacrificing Dia and reporting to Abacha. They noted that, conveniently, there was no audio tape of Bamayi's first conversation with Dia about the plot. This theory was relayed to Abacha, who also doubted Bamayi's sincerity. According to Dia, Abacha telephoned him one night in Jos, where he was detained, and offered to forgive Dia if he publicly apologized and pledged support for his self-succession bid, and testified against a very senior officer in the government. Dia asked for time to consider the offer and discussed with other detainees. But Dia feared that the offer was a trap and declined it. Considering the psychological game with covert video and audio recordings that Dia and the others had been exposed to, it was no surprise that they didn't take the offer. At the end of the 2-month trial, the military tribunal gave death sentence to 6, including Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia, Major General Tajuddin Olanrewaju, and Major General Abdulkarim Adisa, a civilian. 5 of the 20 other accused reportedly received prison sentences ranging from 2 to 14 years, while 15 others were set free. But Dia and Abiola were not the only former ally of Abacha who suffered from his misrule. His next door neighbor and friend, Ken Saro-Wiwa, was met with an unfortunate end in 1995. I am going to continue this story again tomorrow evening. If you have the time, join me. Thank you so much for tonight. And before we go, from Benue, the governor of Benue, he has this to say about the threat of the Miyetti Allah as they attempted to take over, as they ambushed and attempted to kill Sunday Igboho on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway today. Here is Autumn, who is also receiving the same threat. He is a state governor. From here is where I'm going to round it up. Before you go, watch it.
National uproar made today in Kano, the capital of Kano State. Amongst other things, the FUNAM deliberated on attacks on cattle by rustlers, kidnapping of Fulani men and women in some parts of Nigeria, displacement of Fulani traditional settlements in the northern Nigeria and some parts of southern Nigeria, stealing of properties belonging to the Fulani cattle owners, amongst other issues. The group also deliberated on the political situation in Nigeria occasioned by the irresponsible calls for restructuring of Nigeria and historic and vicious attack on Fulani people by southern nationalities and their cohorts in the Middle Belt. The plot to ensure Fulani are pushed out to backbench in the power equation in Nigeria, and above all, the vicious campaign against the God-ordained place of Fulani as a leading star guard in Nigeria. And after extensive deliberation, we hereby make the following declaration. Listen very well. A. The killings in Benue State of the thief is well deserved. It was a revenge attack on a series of onslaught on the Fulani, which most Herodians on November 17, 2017, and when 30 Fulani men and women were killed in Nasarawa State. We noticed the recalcitrant culture of the thief people as demonstrated even in the 1804 jihad, when they obstructed our ordained conquest of Nigeria. B. We condemn the media propaganda again to wage war against the Fulani and supported by Yoruba Igbo and their bigotry allies in the Middle Belt. That we are aware of plots by minority ethnic groups in the Middle Belt to attack Fulani settlements.
True life story. That's Autumn quoting the Miyetti Allah statement when they met in Kano. The police protect them, and they are talking about 1804 jihad. So if they fought any jihad in 1804, did they fight any jihad in Yoruba land in 1804? Or because one Lord Lugard merged so many countries together and called them one Nigeria, your jihad is telling you that Yoruba land or Igbo land is part of your jihad, conquered jihad region. They will have to do better. Okay? Yorubas will defend Yoruba land. As Yoruba sons and daughters, I am saying this to you. Do not worry too much. Let your worry be towards how we are going to support those who want to stand up and defend Yoruba land. Okay? The jihad they are talking about is already what they are doing to our people. I don't want to keep waking up and see that they have kidnapped this number, that number. I was telling you a story about how we got here, how the business of mass kidnapping of school children became the norm because the people who organized it, they are now in government. Look at the situation today. I'm going to continue this with you tomorrow. If you have the time, don't forget, you can join me. Remember, subscribe on Maiyegun's Diary. Click on that subscribe button now. When you do that, move forward a bit and see the notification. Click on it, all notifications, okay? And you can join my page by becoming, you can join my page by becoming a member of Maiyegun's Diary Politico channel as well from any part of the world. It is so easy to do. The join button is under this video as well. Come off the chat room, come off the chat and go on there. You will see all the functionalities. And you will also see Maiyegun's Diary shop. That is under the video, always under every video. You have a chance of ordering some of the Diaspora Radio International. Someone asked, what is the meaning of a Diaspora Radio? So what is the meaning of a DRI? That is Diaspora Radio, an online community radio put together more or less like a revolutionary radio, doing just the same thing I'm doing now, put together to discover young people who are also not in agreement with the madness going on in Nigeria, and they want to share their stories. So yeah, go under Maiyegun's Diary broadcast, as you can see. Yes, you can try that. There is a shop there where you can build your own souvenirs. I've got friends who have been going there and they have been checking them out, where you can change the size, change the color, change for kids, for yourself, for family. I do go there myself, and you can buy this from any part of the world. The reason is that it's good as well, because what they do for us is on Maiyegun's Diary to support creators. When you make any purchase from here, right, we get what is called a discount that comes in through to the platform. And as upcoming or a startup a platform like Diaspora Radio, we enjoy these kind of opportunities. Your support is what will make it worthy, so to say. You can go on and check. It is out there. And also, an update on our brother, Azuka in Cyprus. I have to tell you this. The most we have managed to raise for him so far is just £201. To all of you who have reached out, thank you. I will keep this donation till Sunday, and I hope we are able to help as we want to help. Okay, well, for those who wants to help, still help Azuka. Your donations can still come in. £5, £10, £100, £200. He is looking for €700, and I calculated that that's going to be around £640, £650. If you have the capacity, send it to him. Send it over through the PayPal. It's on your screen at Diaspora Radio UK. Just type that into PayPal. You will be able to reach out and attach the message for Azuka, and it will go to Azuka. Thank you so much. Someone said, Maiyegun, I want to be your supplier, the supplier of your merchandise in India. That's so amazing. I like that. Another guy said he was going to, he's offering to be a supplier of Maiyegun's merchandise in part of Asia. I love that. I don't know how that's going to work. The company that manufactures some of this merchandise, they are in Germany. Okay, so we can work something out. I don't want to deal with the stress of all of that because I don't think I can. But yes, if you place your order, it will be delivered to you on the agreed date. You can track it. And if you want to return it, you can return it if you think it doesn't look like what you are looking for or expected, okay? Everything is legit. Just click on that link and you'll be able to do that. Thank you to all of you for your time, for the support, prayer, and all the reach out attempts. If I haven't been responding your messages on WhatsApp or returning your calls, I'm so sorry, okay? Because you see, The moment I get up this broadcast, you see that mobile phone that has that number, I barely touch it. You know why? I barely touch it, and it is mostly on silence. I am so sorry if I haven't been responding to your messages. If I haven't been returning your calls, I hope you will understand, okay? But I do respond to people I manage to respond to, okay? Send me emails, send me text messages and all of that. I will do my best to respond. And if I don't, please don't take it personally, okay? Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for the whole thing and all that, okay? Thank you. And you should all stay safe and good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà.
àìsíwọ́lù ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.